Hello everyone, Volfey here. With the first floor bosses dead, we have gained access to upper levels and other bosses, first of which is Mother Shahraz, another demon. Truth is, it tends to be a hard boss, a breaking point, stressful part of the Black Temple, where your gear has to be quite similar to one another's. Due to heavy shadow damage going around, I'll just say that. Get a few pieces of shadow resistance gear, brew some shadow resistant potion, zoom out from your character, and let's go. Melee damage alone is not that terrible, but another physical ability Mother has is a Saber Lash. Deals 47.5 thousand damage spread on 3 targets in front of the boss. Damage is capped, mitigatable, and shared between main tank and 2 other players who are most usually off tank, stacked with stamina gear. Silencing Shriek silences everyone who can cast in 18 yards radius. It sucks for Retribution and Enhashame, but who asks you? It lasts for about 9 seconds, so try to drop those totems and judgments before it. It is resistible, however, since it's a shadow spell. Prismatic Aura is an aura that is affecting Mother Shahraz. It is picked randomly from a pool of possible auras you can see on the screen. Keep an eye on those and pop your cooldowns according to aura that is increasing your type of damage done. Beam is also random and affects up to 10 players. Being casted every 10 seconds, it is quite annoying if you get hit by multiple beams one after the other. Shadow resistance works well with these, however the beam that shoots players in the air is limiting when it comes to tactics, which we will talk about in a minute. Although Fatal Attraction is the spell that characterizes the fight, it is actually 2 spells working together. First one picks 3 unfortunate players, teleports them and connects them with chains. Second spell is triggered by proximity. It has the same name and deals 3000 shadow damage per second as long as you're connected. To disconnect, you need to spread and run away from each other. It is important to know that this spell cannot target players that are being hit by Saber Lash. So thanks pretty much. Lastly, the Berserk mechanic is Enrage and it comes after 10 minutes, but the boss has a decently low HP pool that with constant damage and minimal losses still allows you to kill it before 10 minutes runs out. Useful piece of information is that the boss can be resetted by running all the way back along the corridor. Running back to Mother or to Council is just... nobody wants to do that 10 times in one night, trust me. Alright, tactics. There are a few different ones, up to you to pick which and how. What you need to keep in mind is that spreading more reduces damage from the beams, but it also makes it harder to heal damage from fatal attractions. Since teleportation is totally random and having more smaller groups around increases chances of fatal attraction spawning players on top of the other players. 2 most usual tactics I played with or saw people using is the tactic with lamps just around the boss plateau. Half of the raid is on one side, half on the other. Second tactic is where the raid stacks under one lamp further away on the right side, with the Shadow Priest in front using a levitate in case of flying beam. Other tactics I've seen are using couches and or lamps further down the corridor, which isn't a bad idea in case you want to reset encounter easier. However, the bottom line is to evade fall damage by anyhow you want. Handling Fatal Attraction is your own job. Run away as quickly as possible and as fast as you can, which means sprint or blink are useful, but ice block is not. Divine Shield is useful as long as you keep moving after casting it. Other spell damage reduction abilities are welcome if you have them, like for example Cloak of Shadows, Bark Skin, etc. Buff won't work since it's only physical damage shield. If you are picked by Fatal Attraction, you prioritize breaking chains, minimizing damage, and evading getting closer to any other player, especially tanks. Rest of the work is on the healers to keep everyone healed up. For tanking, there is not much to say. For the tanks, this fight is as static as it gets. Main tank should be stacked with avoidance and stamina since the Saber Lash is actually dodgeable. Holy Paladins spam main tank only, Resto Shamis chain heal melees and tanks with occasional Fatal Attraction heal, Druids hot tanks, preferably yourself or some DPSer that takes a lot of damage. Holy Priests will do what they do best, carry the healing big time. So, rating time. I'd give this boss 4 out of 5. Mechanic wise, fight is pretty easy, but RNG and sheer amount of damage taken or healing needed makes it quite unreliable to predict. Also, having Shadow Resist gear makes it harder cause your effective damage and healing output is hindered. So yeah, there's that. There's huge amount of trash on the way to Mother Shahraz, through the entire harem to doors. Most of them are easily tanked by Prot Paladins since they come as packs, but some of them are alone or in tandem, so let's break it down. Devoted Steward, or how we remember him as Enslaved Servant, has a bigger HP pool than other small mobs. Does cheap shot stun and uppercut melee hit, nothing too hard to deal with. Temple Acolytes used to be Temple Concubines, and Charming Patrons used to be Charming Courtesans. AoE mobs pretty much. Acolytes do like to stun, what? Playfully? Huh? And polymorph randomly, but never their highest aggro target. Charming Patrons have a poison debuff and channeled charm effect, but are easily interruptible or just AoE killed. Priestess of Torment and Priestess of Delight are tandem mobs, pretty much a damage dealer and a healer. Delight has Holy Nova that deals damage to players and heals themselves, casting greater heal that can be interrupted, and if mob is alive for too long, she will cast a Shell of Life on herself, which will make her immune to spell damage, and every spell will heal her a bunch. Other one, Torment, is quite opposite, will deal some shadow damage, enrage, and debuff with Shadow Word Pain. If it's alive for too long, will get Shell of Pain, and then you're stuck with her, or just kill it and heal it. I suggest focusing down Torment first and then deal with the Delight. However, if you spread DPS on both, they will gain shared bonds, which might lead to both Shell of Pain and Life, cause they are shared damage half-half. Mistress of WoW, quite easily to deal with, just decurse the curse. Mistress of Dementia, however, does a little bit more. Firstly, it spawns additional 3 copies of herself that move randomly and whirlwind. You can kill them, kite them, fear them, or just heal and wait for them to despawn. Secondly, they debuff random players with Dementia. Quite hard to figure out what it does unless you dig deeper. It actually increases or decreases your damage and healing done by 5%, along with your character size. Lastly, once in a while, it casts Confusion on everyone in 35 yards radius, so rather stay max distance if you wanna avoid CC and... what is that silly thing? Parse? And that's pretty much it for Mom. If you want to learn some more tips and tricks about your class on Mother Shahraz, check out your spellbooks and talent trees and just think about what could be useful or not. How is your BT progression going so far? Did you have any hiccups along the way? Let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, stay safe and have fun playing the game. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!